what I found. Welcome to Realtor Larry Smith and my real estate journey. As you guys know, I am a licensed California realtor, and so I come here weekly and I just kind of go through my journey and I talk about what that experience has been like from the time I took the test all the way until now. And then of course eventually I'll get to showing houses and showings that I'll post here, at least the videos of those. And I will just share the whole experience with you because it has been an interesting experience being a California licensed realtor. And you learn a lot, you read a lot, it's a lot of education, it's a lot of stuff. So I hope here I can share some of that and I can help the next person coming behind me or somebody working with me, or I can learn and we can share trade secrets because I want to be the best at it. So if you want to know more about me, you can actually go to www.larrysmith.realtor. That is my realtor website. And you can also actually go to my business website. My business is actually Live For You Holdings, and there's some about the realtor company there. That's one of the holding companies that I have, my realtor business. And you can also follow me on Instagram and on Facebook at Realtor Larry Smith. That's Realtor Larry Smith on Facebook and on Instagram, which you should see that here and whatnot. So, so I hope you follow me. What it is what it is. Today I wanted to kind of talk about something that is a personal experience of mine, and that could be daunting. And I will say it is daunting to me, but it is, but it's murky, it's getting better, and I say the forms. One of the things that I learned while taking the real estate course and studying the book is there are plenty of forms. There is a transfer disclosure statement. There is a good faith estimate, which I think is now the transfer disclosure statement, I think. But there's also the RESPA, which is the real estate purchase agreement. There is the buyer's agreement. There is the seller's agreements. They are now, because we're in quarantine, there is something you have to sign to approve that. There is all kinds of forms that you can have. There's many different things that you have to find and sign in order to finalize a real estate deal. And tons of them. And being a member of the National Association of Realtors, I have access to all the newest forms. And so I'm up to date on which forms I use, because that could even be a daunting thing. Am I using the correct form for right now? Like, am I using the correct form for my state? Am I using the correct form for modern times, or do I have to find the newest form? And they could be different for different people. And so for a lot of people, that the forms themselves can be a very daunting, challenging step to moving forward, especially when you're studying. When you're studying, there's all kinds of forms, and the book goes over line by line by line, and it talks about different things. And a lot of times, truth be told, I'm gonna be dead honest, it seems like a lot of blah 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 wah 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 and all kind, and it's just a lot of words. And I would recommend that you read through them, but don't dense yourself all the way through reading through them, that what each line is, because you're going to exhaust yourself, and it's going to all just seem like a bunch of matrix coded language to you. Learn it as you go. It all starts to make sense, and that is one of the things I had to tell myself, that when it comes to those forms and when it comes to some of the things like certain math things that they have, I have to learn them as I go and restudy them even after I take the test and pass the test. And so what I do for me personally is I go to the forums and I read them. You know, I've been reading them, learning them, especially now in the meantime. If you saw my last video was about in the meantime, which is basically everything I'm doing between passing the real estate exam and my my first sale. So while I'm in that stage and I'm building that up and I'm working my social media and I'm about to start building leads and all kinds of different things, I'm taking a lot of courses, obviously. So I take courses, those that are free and a couple of them that I paid for. But at the end of the day, I'm also reviewing and looking over and learning those different forms. And that way I'm familiarizing myself with them. I'm familiarizing myself with understanding what they mean and how they work, and what do I have to fill out on each form. Now, here's the thing. When we're going for things like a real estate license, or when we're going for things like any license, a law license, a counselor's license, become a certified coach, or any different type of things that we go to, or after we get a degree or whatever, we tend to think that it's going to be that, and bam, we're automatically in the game. Like, you get a real estate license and automatically you're selling your first house. That usually isn't how the way it's gone. I haven't sold my first house yet. It's been since June, July, and here we are in November. So no, I haven't sold a house yet. Could I have? Perhaps. But you also think we're in the middle of a pandemic. But I also am kind of a perfectionistic minded person. Maybe that's a flaw. Maybe it's a positive. I don't fully know. But I want to know the craft. I don't want to be an uninformed agent. I want to know the craft. And so I'm taking time to take courses to build my strength in that field. I'm taking time to learn things. And so in this meantime, in this moment that I have here that I'm taking, it is super important for me to go and to review stuff. And so I am reviewing the forms, and that is my recommendation for that. Just take some time, take a few weeks, take a week or so, review about 2, maybe 1 or 2, depends on how intense you want to learn it, where you just review it every day, about an hour a day, about an hour and a half a day, and you're reviewing it, and you're learning it, and you're understanding it for yourself. Right? Because there's nothing like when you're in the middle of a transaction having to pick up the phone and say, what form do I need? Or what do I have to put in such and such line on this such and such form? That is embarrassing, and that's kind of unprofessional. So it is important that you are aware of stuff for yourself at a strong enough foundation so that the only time you have to pick up the phone is when you're in a situation where it's absolutely something you just don't know. And it helps. And actually, I've done that even in recent terms. I've called my broker and I said, hey, I'm thinking about forming an LLC and incorporating my realtor company as well. And he said, I actually, think you should do that. And he gave me some good advice, because I contemplated it over the weekend, and I was wondering, would it be good? Can I do it? Is it in line with what the National Association of Realtors say we can do? Can I use my realtor Larry Smith as my business name? And all kinds of things. And so I actually told him I want to form a company, and I called him, and he gave me a square answer. He said, I do the same thing. I have this business, and my consulting is part of this business, and so is my real estate. And I was like, cool. I was like, you have no idea how much you pulled off of me if you could just simply ask. Now, and so that's I guess that would be the second thing, is even as you're going through the forms and you're learning them, don't sit and not ask questions. The whole purpose of your broker is not just to be somebody there that you pay money to when you sell a house. Your broker is a very seasoned real estate agent. Your broker is somebody who knows the business of real estate. They're very knowledgeable of the field and the career, and some of them have been doing it for a very long time. They're willing to answer the phone or answer an email in relation to a question you may have as it relates to the form as you are studying them and learning them. You can ask, well, this line says this. Trust me, what I've learned is they're not going to get irritated, at least if you're with a good broker. I know the broker that I'm with, which is Keller Williams Shoreline in Seal Beach, California, they've been very helpful at answering some of them, what most people would consider minute questions. I email the office manager, the office clerk, and she emails me back with a good answer. Or I pick up the phone and call her, or I pick up the phone and call my broker, who I also have his telephone number, and I just ask specific questions so that I can get the answers that I need so I can move on. So even though, like I said, there are tons and tons and tons of forms. And if you think that that's a lot, there's tons and tons and tons of more that you have to use. Some of them you won't even see, but they're good to know, right? Like I guess that's another clue too, another bit of information. Some of the forms are not even things that you have to actually fill out yourself. There are things that you send to the broker, or things that you send to a mortgage company or a bank, and they fill all that information out. But it is good and useful for you to know, so that if your client has questions, or if there's a situation where you have to check to make sure something is correct, or if it comes up incorrect and it needs to be corrected and you need the verbiage, and the knowledge about the form to be able to get that corrected. So even if it's a form that you are not going to use yourself, knowing it will be very helpful to your real estate journey, because you're able to do things and understand things and work around things and get things done that you need to get done within your career. So do it. So learn it. Take advantage of it. I always say take advantage of this mean time, this in-between time, this time where between you getting your license and the time between you selling your first house. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. And so the goal is for you to build towards that. And one of the ways to build towards that is to get to know the forms. Read the forms. Learn the forms. There are a lot of forms. So learn them, get to know them, get comfortable with them, comfortable enough so that when you actually have to use them, it's a no-brainer. You're learning. You don't have to learn everything before you take the test. In fact, you're not. I don't care if you're a super-minded, computer-minded person. You will not learn everything before you take the test. There will be some on-the-job or in the career or post-licensed training. And so take advantage of those things. And actually, if you go through your broker and you go through the National Association of Realtors, if you're a member, there are actually courses that are specifically on forms and things that you can take. Most of them for free that I've noticed. Some of them are paid, but it's at a reduction if you are a member. And if you're not a member, it's not at a reduction. But either way, you can find ways to get better at looking at all of those forms. That was a daunting thing for me. I'm sharing it with you because it's my honesty, it's my truth. But I know I'm going to work my way through that, just like I know you're going to work your way through that. If this is helpful, remember to continue to follow, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video if you want to share the video. Follow me on Realtor Larry Smith on Instagram and on Facebook. And just reach out to me if you're looking to sell or to buy a home. I am here to help you. That is what I do. This is what I love. I enjoy helping people. We can keep it peaceful and clean and kind. And for me, my clients are always, their experience is so much further important for me than anything else. And so I enjoyed this. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm going to continue to share these moments, these insecurities, these things with you because they're relevant in my life. It's what's going on. Hopefully you get something from it. And I love you all, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.